Hi, welcome to another one of my vlogs. This time around, the replacement for Mr. Nathan Hammond. Miss Sarah Stratton, everybody.
Oh.
Sarah I've known for about 16 years, and even though she doesn't really look it in her Goonies t-shirt, she's a gigantic nerd like the rest of us, really. So, I wanted to invite Sarah on so you got to see another person's perspective apart from mine and Mr. Hammond's. And for once, apart from this one mention, a webcast where we're not actually, or vlog rather, if you will, where we're not actually plugging Jazz and Jess every 5 minutes. Even though it's a fantastic webcomic and you should totally go and read it.
not plugging at all there.
No, of course I didn't. No.
Good. Well done.
Send us money, Nathan. Nathan. Money this way. Anyway, so I brought Sarah on. We've listed out some rather dorky things, geeky things to actually sort of discuss. And recently, very recently, they leaked the Comic Con trailer for Thor. Sarah and I have been getting very excited about the whole Avengers thing anyway. So all of the build up to it. And I've only just shown Sarah the leaked Thor trailer. And there's really no kind of stopping it now. So pretty much everybody on the planet has seen it now, because now Sarah's seen it.
Which I'm usually the last person, in fairness.
So I wanted your impressions on the Thor trailer. Coming from somebody, you're not exactly a big fan of the Thor comic. Not saying anything against it, but it's not something that you've read before, is it?
It's not something I've massively read, no. It's an exciting trailer, though. Has to be said.
Yeah.
Exciting trailer, and I think it's hopefully, fingers crossed, going to do it justice, and it is going to be a good portrayal of the film, and not just that being all the good bits.
What you mean, just like the trailer itself, just being an edit of like, oh, these are all the most exciting things.
Yeah, and then everything else is rubbish.
Yeah.
I'm very much hoping that's not the case, because it's good.
Because that's never happened in the past, has it? Like XMen: The Last Stand, for example.
Jeez. Why bother actually watching the film?
It's something that's actually come up in the vlogs before because of Nate being a big X-Men fan.
Mm.
And I've said on a movie perspective, when it came to The Last Stand, it was just the writing that let it down.
It was just a real shame because for me anyway, because there were so many good ideas in there that just didn't go anywhere. It was like the sort of the great idea of the Phoenix, but it was all just so quick and so. Oh, and we've got to get this, and we've got to get this, and we've got to get him.
They shoehorned a lot of extra mutants in there, didn't they?
Yeah, it just felt a little bit like they just got these were all the things that we can possibly use, and we'll just throw them all into that bucket, shake it up, and throw it out, and hope for the best.
There does. I mean, I have read a lot of the comic, especially lately when it comes to Thor, and I can tell you from the trailer itself, you see an awful lot of people. When they're showing the stuff in Asgard, you get to see an awful lot of characters like Sif, who's a romantic interest in the comic book.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure if that's going to be shown in the film or not. But then you got the Warriors 3 as well. So you have Hogan, I think is the name of one of them, and Volstagg.
Yes.
And there's a third one that begins with F, and I can't remember, the rather beautiful looking one that looked a bit like Clark Gable, like a blonde Clark Gable.
Yeah, but the difference is whether you can do having all of these characters in it, and them being present, but it's what you then do about them. If they are present so that in future films' time, they can then be brought in more, and we've already recognised them, they're already there, but then in future we can do something with them, then that's great.
Yeah.
But if what we're going to do is try and throw all the storylines in now and make everything work together, which just doesn't ever come together properly, then it's kind of rubbish in the X-Men 3 way.
Yeah, the Thor film is an amalgamation of 3 different eras of the comic book.
Yeah.
So you have the classic origin.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like a complete uber geek, you know it's being called the 616 origin.
Okay.
The whole kind of like multiple Earth thing.
Yeah.
They establish in the comic that the one that you normally read in Marvel is Earth 616.
Okay.
So a lot of people refer to it as 616 Thor.
Yeah.
In this case, so you have the classic 616 origin, of him being cast out.
Yeah.
You have the desert locations, pretty much, and setting and backdrop.
Yeah.
That has turned up in the recent run, the Reborn stories, as they're calling it, that was first done by J. Michael Straczynski,
Yeah.
who you'll know quite well
Yeah.
from Babylon 5.
Yeah.
And from Murdering the Spider-Man comic for a while as well. I hear no argument about that.
I'm saying nothing.
And of course the whole Ultimate Thor.
Yeah.
Have you read the Ultimates?
Not all of.
Because I've lent you my copies of it.
Yes.
But you've seen how they see Thor as being possibly just a whacked out guy with superior weapons and so on.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the trailer for a second, to me, it looks like, although yes, you've said that there are a lot of these characters present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It certainly feels like they've actually gone, right, this is the story that we need to tell, and this is us telling it.
Yeah.
And I know that it is crossing over in a lot of ways, but it does certainly feel like this is the story that we want to tell on this occasion, and this is us going for it.
So you don't think they're actually putting in characters that are going to damage the narrative?
I don't think they're going to damage the narrative. I think half the point of that is that they are very aware that with all of these films that they're doing at the moment, there is potential for sequels sort of within that individual line,
mm-hmm.
as well as
the Avengers yeah.
combination that's going to occur. And they want to, it feels like they want to put in the idea of these other characters so that they are there, ready, established for future films.
So a little bit like Iron Man by having Rhodey in there, and
yeah.
having Agent Coulson and Nick Fury.
So they were there, but it was enough that you went, right, okay, that's who that is, but not so much that it in any way distracted from the actual plot that was going on.
But then again, there's a lot more of those possibly to be more established characters than, again, in the example of Iron Man.
Yeah. But no, I honestly think that I'm desperately hoping that I'm right on this. That it is just going to be, this is the story that we want to tell, and we've got all these little bits that are ready for our future possible films.
Mm.
But that this is what we're telling you right now.
Well, that's going to be something else about the Avengers film as well, because all of these other movies, they are establishing towards the Avengers.
Yeah.
As we'll be talking about later with the Avengers and with Captain America.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that a bit later. But already with Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Even though Edward Norton is not returning to be Bruce Banner, they are still, by the seams of things, going to be keeping that story.
And they would be foolish not to.
Yeah.
In honesty.
In something within the universe, because they've already had Tony Stark turn up in the cameo at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's going to be a case of whether William Hurt will be back as Thunderbolt Ross, but I think it'd be a shame if they didn't. He was fantastic.
I would imagine so. I would hope so.
But they would have to keep that through line. So you've got the Incredible Hulk, you've got Iron Man and Iron Man 2 that have already set up part of the Avengers continuity.
Yeah.
You've got Thor, and you've got Captain America.
Yeah.
And it's very, very much literally, these are the four pillars, these are the four legs to the table, and if any one of these movies were not as good as the others, then you're going to end up actually having a very wonky narrative when you end up getting around to the Avengers, because there will be a character that people will distinctly not like.
Exactly. And that's, I think those are all of the bits and pieces that they are putting together with particularly it looks like with the Thor film, because it isn't a character that is as well recognised as, for example, Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
There's an extent to which they kind of do need to throw in some of these characters a little bit more, not to overwhelm the story, but just to have them there so that people will start to recognise them.